Hey guys, Richard with BlueSheepdog.com, and today I'm doing a little introduction video on the original SWAT classic boot. Now, regular readers probably remember about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, I put out a short post with a press release from original SWAT where they're talking about their new Chase Series boots that are coming out. Those boots are coming out in March. I'm pretty excited about those boots after having seen seen parts of them and prototypes of them out at the SHOT Show, and we're going to have some reviews on those coming up. I have it on good authority that we'll be some of the first folks to get those, so we're going to bring you some great reviews on those. However, as I posted in that original article, I've never actually owned or worn a pair of the original SWAT boots, so I didn't have any experience with them, and I was quite clear about that. Well, the company contacted me and they said, "Look, we'll send you a pair of boots if you want to try them out." I said, "Absolutely." So what they sent me was these, and this is the classic 9-inch original SWAT boot. It's the 9-inch full height here. It's got the side zip, and these, of course, are in tan. There's a lot of interesting features that go into these boots. First of all, they're designed to be very comfortable and provide a lot of support. And a lot of that is just not visible when you just pick up a pair of these boots and look at them, or certainly it wasn't to me. When I had a chance to meet with the guys at the 2012 SHOT Show a few weeks ago, they went over a lot of the features that are built into these boots, and I was very impressed. First of all, original SWAT, every one of the folks I met there were great people, and they seemed genuinely interested and concerned in the needs of law enforcement and military operators on what kind of boot do they need, what's working for them. I've dealt with a lot of different companies over the years, and there's certainly a lot of different folks making boots out there nowadays. Some of them are very good, some of them are, mediocre. A lot of the companies that are out there, and it's not just boots unfortunately, but a lot of companies that are out there, they throw things out there, they continue selling what works, they don't sell what doesn't work, but they never really internalize any of the feedback they get from the people using their product. Original SWAT seems to be a completely different company. They actually are very interested. They were asking me what I thought about different things. They were showing me all the different features of both these and the new series that are coming out, getting feedback from me. They are a company that genuinely seems interested in making a fantastic product for the folks that are actually out here using them. We'll go over some of the features here, but before I do, I just want to say that the people at Original SWAT are all veterans of the shoe industry. It's not like some of the different boot makers that are out there now that have come from different industries, and now they just figure they're going to cash in on the market. Some of the products that are out there from other companies are very good. I use some of those other products, but the folks at Original SWAT come from the shoe and boot industry, so they have a very good understanding from the get-go of what the foot needs for comfort and support. All right, let's start off with these. First of all, probably the fundamental thing that you have when designing a boot or a shoe, and this was new to me, was that you have something called a last. And the last is basically kind of a mold, a foot, if you will, a plastic foot that they use to build their boot around. And the idea is if you have a good last or a good mold, then starting off, you're going to be able to build a much better product. Lasts have been around for a long time. I'm guessing probably about as long as folks have been making shoes and boots. The problem that we see with a lot of companies now is that the lasts that some companies are using are very old and outdated. Some companies, believe it or not, are using lasts that were developed back in the 1940s for military contracts. What may be the problem? Well, a couple of things. First of all, people have changed. Nutrition and exercise and everything's much better nowadays. We have people that are growing taller, growing bigger. If you think about your grandparents, a lot of our grandparents were smaller than what we are now. My grandfather was in World War II, served under Patton in the U.S. Army. My grandfather probably one of the two most hardworking men I've ever known, the other one of course being my father. My grandfather was, even though he was a hard worker and he did some incredible things in his lifetime, he was only about 5'6" or 5'7". I've got him beat by about half a foot. So do I necessarily want a boot that's being built for someone of his size and stature that's just kind of upsized for me? Well, I don't know. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I do know the folks at Original SWAT, they use modern last, that they've, it's all computer design stuff. So they're starting off with a great mold or a great basis to which they build a boot around. Okay. Other things that you are probably not going to notice. First of all, back here, if you notice that the back portion of the boot here is slightly curved, slightly molded, and may not look like a typical boot. A lot of boots are just straight up and down in the back. This is actually shaped to how the foot, how the ankle, how the heel, and the Achilles tendon and everything works. Okay, so we're just starting off immediately just with that little aspect of things, something that's going to be a little more comfortable and provide a little more support. The uppers here, or like the toe cap and around the sides and everything, this is a suede leather. On the black patrol boots, it's going to be a smooth leather that you can polish to a high shine. The upper portions back here, this is a nylon material. It is padded, so it gives you a little bit of comfort and support on the inside, but it's also very breathable. On the inside, well, first of all, let me show you the zipper here. It does use YYK zippers, which most folks use, right? YYK is considered one of the best zippers on the market. What Original SWAT does that I didn't realize other people didn't do is they also use YYK teeth and the rest of the hardware here. What some manufacturers do is they use this portion of the hardware here, which is YYK, so they can say they use a YYK zipper, but then they use inferior products for the rest of it. Okay, does that make a difference? Yeah, maybe it does. Certainly, if you use a cheaper product or an inferior product, then that's going to be 1 point of more potential for failure. Okay, and we all know in a side zip boot, this is probably going to be the first thing that fails, if anything fails on the boot. So we want good hardware here. Something else that I never realized until they pointed this out to me is down here at the bottom of the zipper. I don't know if you can see that or not, but down here at the bottom of the zipper, there's actually a zipper stop. So when you run the zipper all the way down to the bottom, it's hitting the stop and not hitting the bottom of the material all the time. Again, does that make a difference? Yeah, probably over a long period of time, because the more you run this down, up and down on there, the more likely you're going to cause failure if that stop is not there, because you're just pushing against the fabric. Okay, and we know the fabric is going to be one of the weak areas. If you keep hitting metal against the fabric, you can tear it. And one time you'll run it down there, and the zipper will come off. You'll rip the bottom, and suddenly you've got a boot that really isn't terribly useful to you anymore. So you've got that. Getting the boots on and off, real easy. This opens up nicely. Everything is molded real well to the foot. I wasn't sure if, since it was molded a little better to the foot, if it might be a little more difficult getting on. It really wasn't. The insoles, they use a removable insole here. Now this isn't designed for like super padding. The rest of that is in here. But what we have here is this insole section is actually it has a permanent treatment called an Aegis. And basically what that is it's antimicrobial, meaning that, yes, it's going to help keep down the stink. Between the fact that it's breathable, it wicks moisture away, and you've got the antimicrobial in here, you're actually going to do a lot better off as far as preventing these things from stinking than you will with some other types of boots. If you work a long shift like I do here in Florida where it's hot, nasty, and humid and everything, that actually can make a big deal. Walk into our locker room sometimes and you'll know what I'm talking about. Also, down here out of the way where you can't see, kind of under there, you've got good shank in there, so it provides good support here, so you're not going to get a lot of undue twisting. which is great because if you're walking and you hit something on a corner or something like that, you don't want your foot flexing and cracking, right? So you've got a lot of good support down here. But you also have a lot of support and comfort built in, especially back here around the heel, all throughout, but especially down here in the heel. What they've got is they've got some compressed EVA material. And basically they take about an inch of closed cell foam and they injection mold it in there. So it's nice and thick and compressed, and that provides a whole lot of comfort to you. They do basically the same thing in a lot of sports shoes to help absorb. It kind of as a shock absorber. Some other things that they've got built into these, you'll notice these laces. These are flat laces. These are not your round laces. Round laces tend to be a little easier to work with when you're lacing up the boots and everything. But again, keep in mind, this is a side zip. The idea is you lace these once, occasionally lace them again to kind of tighten things up over a period of time, but you're using the zipper here to get in and out of them all the time. The flat laces provide a little more grip, a little more traction, a little more friction, so once you lace them up, they stay in place and you're not having to constantly readjust these laces. You get them fixed and then you use your zipper and you're not going to have any problems. These things are extremely comfortable. I've had these on almost non-stop for about the past 2 or 3 days. They've been very comfortable in an office environment here. I've had them out hiking. I've had them on asphalt. They're very good. They're very comfortable. They're very durable. The rubber soles down here, they provide a lot of good traction. They actually don't hold dirt like some soles do. They provide really good traction, but then they also release the dirt also. I didn't have to do a lot to clean these up, and in fact they look almost new, even though I've had them out on the road and out on off-road as well. They do a very good job. Super comfortable. Like I said, this is just an introduction. I wouldn't say that a week and a half, 2 weeks of use is necessarily a good review. I'm still working on it, and I'm going to be wearing these quite a bit, especially with training and everything coming up at our department. So expect to see an in-depth review on these coming up. But I wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction to these because so far I've been very impressed by them and by the company. Make sure you check out bluesheepdog.com for more information on these original SWAT boots. Stay safe.